find something. They should always find something to be the basis of criticism. Etheldred James, good night to you. My brother, good night to your brother Etheldred and Ethelbert. They always find something to criticize, irrespective of whether it's worthy of even an iota of criticism or not. They will criticize. They will criticize because they always want to see themselves opposing for opposing's sake, even if it is good. Even if it is good, they will oppose. Because when you tell me that a government is reducing the price, removing VAT from the price of building materials, and people oppose it, you ask yourself, had government increased the price, what would they have said? And so, pleasing everyone is an impossible phenomenon. You just cannot please everyone. And that is why the old adage of majority rules finds applicability globally. Because you can never please everyone, especially the jackalacks. Christina DeMille, good night to you. Colin Polius, good night. Helen Suliot, good night. Deriso Dubai in the house. Where do I start tonight? Where do I start? Bam Bam Wall? Or thanking those who were involved in the carnival? Let's start with the Bam Bam Wall, folks. And whilst one jackalak, a political hopeful, will criticize and castigate the government for allegedly having its priorities wrong, others within their camp would say differently. Folks, just imagine a jackalak on social media was blaming the government of the day. Now, I don't give a damn if it is a Flabo government or a Labour government or an NPP government or a no PP or blue or red or green government. But how on earth can any right-thinking citizen of this country blame the government for women gyrating and expressing themselves on a wall? How can you blame government for that? Tell me. Tell me how on earth you can do that. Where does that find justification? People want to whine. People want to express themselves. We all have differences in moral values. I may not do what you want me to do. You may not want to do what I want to do. And so we must agree to coexist. But how on earth are you pointing fingers of blame at a government because the ladies are expressing themselves in a manner that you probably felt displeased about or probably wanted to associate in a different environment with, but couldn't get the opportunity? And so you chastise the government. You blame government. You know, folks, when I read that, I asked myself, how far would one go to find reason to navigate any set of circumstances and to point fingers of blame, if any, squarely on government because it suits the political narrative? How far would one go? I mean, this is so nonsensical. It's absurd. And forget it is a government I am a part of. You think if Alan Shastney was in government and women gyrating, I will blame Alan Shastney for women gyrating on a wall? How? I don't know. How does that fit? Carlton Augustine, you're an economist. Match that for me. I cannot. You know, folks, all we do is we keep on politicizing everything. Because if we say, okay, the women look well, blah, 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 it appears in our minds that we will make the government of the day look good, thereby defeating our whole purpose, which is unseating the government. So we take individual desires, we take individual expressions, we take individual choices, and we lay them on the shoulders of a sitting government. I mean, I have never, from 2013, when I began my incessant campaign against Alan Shastney, not once did I blame crime on him, or I blame any kind of freedom of choice on him. Those are expressions that fall squarely within the reasoning of the individual. Those are choices that they can make. You know, and I couldn't believe this. But when the person wrote that on social media blaming the government, I read a response by Nigel Edwin. Nigel Edwin, good night to you. I want to say good night. Now, Nigel, I'll tell you something. Your response carried true objectivity. True objectivity. And in a nutshell, saying that gyrating and whining and expression of oneself did not start today or yesterday or day before yesterday or last year or day before or year before. In a nutshell, you were saying basically that has nothing to do with government. But I will tell you this, Nigel. I will tell you this. Based on your response and the fact that your response did not lend a chord to the narrative that was being pushed to blame government, but it was objective, rest assured you will soon be called an SLP hack. Because that is what the Jackalacks do. The Jackalacks, as long as you do not support the narrative, even if it is skewed, even if it is devoid of an iota of objectivity, and you try and take off their jaundice lenses and to put lens that would see with reason, they will call you an SLP hack. Because some time ago, right on this show, Richard Peter King had written a piece, and I tore it apart right in here, when he was calling on Philip J. Pierre to investigate and blah, blah, blah. You know, I tore it apart. Richard Peter King has overtly said Alan Shastney is his friend. He has said so. But some time ago, the Jackalacks posted something, and Richard Peter King approached it with objectivity. Within a few minutes, the Jackalacks, they pounced on him. They danced all over him. His head was like a tambour. It was beaten. It was beaten venomously. Why? Because whatever Richard Peter King said did not find suitability with the narrative. He kind of opposed it on the altar of being objective. He opposed it because he's saying, they called Richard Peter King an SLP hack. You know, folks, our people are free to express themselves in a manner that does not contravene the law, and secondly, in a manner that does not infringe on the rights of others. As long as you operate within those two tenets, you cannot be doing anything wrong. Your moral values are yours. Mine are mine. We have one umbrella to operate under: lawfulness. Lawfulness. And not to transgress or trespass the rights of our fellow individuals. Because choices are personal. Choices are personal. We make choices. When we make a choice, when any individual makes a choice, he or she must be willing to live with the consequences of the choice of the choice that he or she makes. So, I am no yardstick of morality, but who is? Who is? Even the Bible observes, for all have sinned, John 3:16, and come short of the glory of God. Is that John 3:16? John 3:16 is for God so loved the world. I'm mixing my biblical quotes here, but basically the Bible says that for all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. So it is not for me to impose what I believe are my moral values on you. Neither is it yours to impose on me. What we have to do, once we operate within the umbrella of a lawfulness, and you are not basically trespassing or transgressing on my personal space, we need to understand we have to coexist. We coexist because the world consists of heterogeneous characters, differently minded characters. So I don't know who's a yardstick of morality, you know? And some people believe in being gay. That's their choice. That is their choice. I don't believe in it. That is my choice. But will I coexist with gay people? I definitely will. Why not? All of us have differences in choices. So I may not marry a man, but why would I begrudge a man who marries a man? That's your business, papi. You know? And we must understand that we have different choices, but once we operate under the banner of lawfulness, we can basically coexist. And you know, the political wannabe saying that government's priorities are wrong. Ria Cruz, good night to you, my girl. Government's priorities are wrong. You know, why take money and paint the Bam Bam wall? Show them the Bam Bam wall for me, please. Show them that wall. Show them that famous wall. Ah, isn't that beautiful, man? Thea Joseph, isn't that beautiful, Thea? Oh, man. David Henry, isn't that beautiful? Hilary Les Flores, Cassius, come from America, man. Come down, come down, come down. Ria Cruz, come down on the Bam Bam wall. White Pinky, I didn't see you on the Bam Bam wall. I didn't see you there. I didn't see you there. Folks, this is the Bam Bam wall. The famous Bam Bam wall. And I will tell you all something. Cheryl Morgan, good night. I will tell you all something. Leave it there still. You all will not believe. You all will not believe the economic return that the government of St. Lucia is probably going to derive from doing things like that. You know, you all will not believe it, but this is immaculate. And somebody put it well. They said from whatever it was, it turned from controversial to spectacular. And folks, look at this, and hear the differences of opinions. Whilst a wannabe is criticizing government for spending about $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 to paint that wall, this is what an ex-ambassador of the United Workers' Party, Cheryl Francis, to Canada had to say. Put up Cheryl's comment. Wow. Beautiful picture, the great Bam Bam Wall. I didn't say it, leave it there a minute. You know, so whilst one is criticizing, look what a UWP ex-ambassador had to say. Wow, beautiful picture, the great Bam Bam Wall. Now, how can that person coexist with another one who is giving the Bam Bam Wall endless criticism? Huh? How can you all coexist? It just shows you all don't sing from the same hymn book. But if I have to side, I must side with Cheryl Francis. Divine Deterville says that's a national wall of solution. And I agree with you, Monica Pierre. Oh, Lord, me too. David Henry, you are right. That wall is going to... Folks, I'll show you all something during this show. You can take that down. So, folks, Carnival is a colorful event. And I must say, I was with Dania the first day and we were on Jabati Street. And I don't know who are the organizers of the band Fusion. But when I asked, which band is this? They told me it was Fusion. Daniel Alexander, good night. And I was very, very, very impressed. Fusion band, folks, had a fusion of colors. Bright, beautiful. I don't know, I hope the band of the year decision has been made because I don't want to influence it in one way or the other. It has been made. Which was band of the year? Tribe of 12. And where Fusion came? Not sure. Tribe of 12. Greetings to you, Tribe of 12, and congratulations. But I was very, very, very impressed with how colorful Fusion was and how those colors fused into each other, from which a beautiful product emanated. So congrats to you. I don't know, you all did well, but I'm surprised. Tribe of 12. Oh, Dale Tobier, Vale Tobier. Vale, look, I changed your name to Dale. Oh, Just for Fun was first runner-up. And who else? Yeah, I know Vale is from Just for Fun. No, I just want to say thanks to Vale for facilitating me on late notice. Yes, Vale. So, Vale Tobier, I just want to thank you again, openly. Thanks, bro. That's what it is when, you know, a friend in need is a friend indeed. So thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Vale. Yeah, but I was saying, Carnival is a colorful thing. And, you know, when you have persons who are so myopic that all they see, or everything they see is through political lenses, they are so short-sighted that they cannot see before their very noses. The economic spill, folks, from that carnival is immeasurable. Okay, so let's go now. It was Tribe of 12, Just for Fun second, Zovo third, and Fusion fourth. Okay, Vale Tobia, you have to tell me where the party at, eh? The band party, I come in. You know, I mean, the economic benefits of an activity like Carnival, those benefits are immeasurable. And they are not short-term, they are long-term. Not only did poor people make $1, and folks, if I tell you all something, you all will not believe. It pleases me. When Nikki called me, I'll deal with CCC a little later. Nikki called me and Nikki said, boss, people have me under pressure for tents, what do? I say, Nikki, distribute as many tents as you possibly can, and do so to persons who have nowhere else to sell than under a tent. Because when I see a Malawi making $1, it gives me a feeling of gratification. It makes me a woman with 4 children, a single mother, hustling. She bears a little root boy, a little bottle of this, making $1. It pleases me. It does. It really, really does. And whatever I can do to facilitate that kind of economic activity within the Castries Basin, I will put my name down 10 times. There's no question about that. But our carnival, folks, though not the biggest in the region, is slated to rank, and has already been ranked rather, as one of the best. I mean, it is that kind of colorful event, the imaginative thinking of those involved that will take us to a higher level. You know, let us assume government spent $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 on the Bamba Mall. You're telling me that you don't see that as being justified? Isn't that an investment to bolster economic growth down the line or down the road? Wouldn't interest in St. Lucia generally and interest in our carnival not grow? Wouldn't it? You know, the Jackalacks have a problem with a $7,000, if that much, spraying on a wall, if that much. But they had no problem with $7 million being given for vaccine that we never received. And that is the kind of hypocrisy I have a problem with. They will see the very little pins, but the humongous ones, they become totally blind to them. You know? And every time I remember that, I'm saying we are refurbishing a building, 8 contractors, just over $1 million. 8 contractors. Huh? That one is 11 million, 7 million, 52 million, 26 million for one man. You know? You all will see the little things, but the big ones escape your eyesight. You all are too hypocrite, and that's my problem. That is my problem. Folks, let me give you a brief insight as to what we can derive from our carnival, the economic returns. We had celebrities among us for carnival. And Chloe Bailey was there jumping with us. Now, who is Chloe Bailey? I'll just put a short script on Chloe Bailey. She's an American actress, a singer and songwriter. Could you scroll up, please? This is her. Chloe Elizabeth Bailey, known as Mononym Chloe, is an American singer, songwriter, record producer, and actress. She rose to prominence as one half of the musical duo Chloe Exhale with her sister Halle Bailey. Okay, this is who she is. And she was here with us having fun, folks. She had a lot of fun. And imagine, she was signed up by Beyonce. Beyonce signed up Chloe, who was on the road with us, jumping carnival. Let's take a short piece of interview with Chloe Bailey.
I'm so proud of you and everything you've been doing. You're awesome. Okay, look, we have another thing. We have another thing in common. Both of our first films were with Beyonce.
Yes, isn't that crazy?
I know, I didn't even realize that. What was it like for you? How old were you?
So when I auditioned for the part, it was my very first role I ever went out for. I was 3.5.
3.5.
And when I shot it, I was 4. And oh yeah, there I am, the baby Chloe. And that was like when I realized, like, wow, I really love this woman. She's so nice to me. She's dancing with me. And from then, that's when my love developed for Destiny's Child and her from day one. And I remember Christmas when me and my whole family, extended family and all, we went to go see Dreamgirls and everything, and supporting you and voting for you on American Idol. Like,
You old enough
we
to
loved
be
you.
American Idol.
No, like, Sis and I have loved you from day one.
Oh.
And then at the Clive Davis party, when you sang your behind
Oh my
off,
God.
I started crying.
Thank you.
So I could fangirl all day.
Oh
but.
my God. Well, I'm a fan of you ladies just the same, and so proud of you. And Beyonce them ended up signing you 12 years later?
Yeah.
Tell me about that. How did that happen?
So that happened from YouTube, which is crazy.
YouTube.
Because I would have never imagined out of all of the avenues, online would be the way that Queen Bee would see us, and that's how we get signed, and that would be our entryway into the music industry. Isn't that?
Yes, folks. Jeff, let me just read This was Chloe, who was on our streets here jumping carnival, and I will show you something in a bit, because she said carnival in St. Lucia was the best time she had. But hear this well. Richard, I was working with Alan during the carnival. I was working with Alez, during the carnival, a local Uber service. And in conversation with some female clients, they told me they saw videos of Instagram of women whining on the Bam Bam Wall as far back as April. And they said to each other, this looks fun, and they want to do it. They revealed to me that that very same week, they booked their tickets to St. Lucia for Carnival 2023. Making that wall more presentable by painting it was the best thing that the government did for St. Lucia Carnival. So the Bam Bam Wall brought them to St. Lucia, not even any marketing by the carnival bands. You know, y'all had no problem with £2,000 a night. No problem. The money that was spent on the Bam Bam Wall was one night with Alan staying in the hotel that he did. You know, I don't understand what is wrong with y'all. The same Flowers and Sky FM who were hating on Carnival, Miguel Fevrier, good night, occupied the entire roadside in front of Colony House with their tents selling. I wonder if they paid their liquor licenses. Y'all are hearing this? You know, folks, I don't understand. Oh, yeah, and I have a picture of Chloe. Oh, my God, let me send that one to you. Chloe went down to the Sulphur Springs. You know, put that one up for me right away. She went down to the Sulphur Springs, and you know, Sergeant Felix, good night to you. Yes, okay, good. I got a thing here that Chloe was hosted by the St. Lucia Tourism Association. Hats off to you, St. Lucia Tourism Association. Legends made the contact for her to come here, so she was always coming, but accommodation and flight was complimentary. So I want to, hats off to you, members of the St. Lucia Hotel and Tourism Association. Oh yes, Daniel, thank you very much. Romans 3:23, for all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. Is Romans 3:20. John 3:16, so God so loved the world. Richard, how are you doing that? You're forgetting your Bible. What kind of thing is that? Yeah. So folks, that is this is Chloe. Look at this. Look at this. You know, now, y'all will not believe. This young lady posted on social media that St. Lucia was the best carnival or the best experience she has ever had in her life. She posted that. And within, it was not even in the first hour, she had about 45,000 views. 45,000 views in the first hour. What more do you want as a destination that did not spend a penny? What more do you want? You know, is there any price you can pay for that kind of advertisement, man? Can you pay for that? You cannot pay for it. Will she not return? Of course she will. She will. And next time she comes, I am certain that she will bring other celebrities with her. We need to get serious. So, you know, we can spend $7 million on vaccine. The monies we spent on the Bam Bam Wall was one night stay in a hotel by Chasney. But we cannot make a wall look more attractive so as to make the tourism product a better product. Come on, let's get serious, man. Y'all want to make noise a couple $1,000 wall? You know? In fact, let me just tell you all this. Chloe's presence here was picked up by the Vincentians. Well, it was picked up by the world. But the Vences who compete with us insofar as popularity of their Vencimas is concerned, they were fuming. And one of them, who's in the know, so to speak, posted something on social media which we as all St. Lucians should be proud of. Let me show you the post by a Vincentian who basically is saying St. Lucia is taking the lead. Put up that post. Good. Okay. Chloe Bailey, okay, in with me is Shelton. Shelton, you want to read this to me, man?
No.
You can't. Eyes are not focusing properly.
You need to zoom in a bit for me.
Can you, zoom out, you mean?
No, you need to, something would need to make it bigger.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Besides having just arrived, my eyes and
Oh.
I'm getting old, you know.
Are you, folks, Shelton just arrived, and Shelton is now admitting that he's entering the echelons of Guamun. But you know, we all get there sometimes. We all get there sometimes, you know. So, let me read this for you folks so that you'll understand exactly what is going on with Chloe and okay, not that one. Just give me a sec, folks. I'm trying to get it a little closer from my phone. Just give me a sec here. Right. Vincy Power. Chloe Bailey at the St. Lucia Carnival. I spoke on this as well. I said we live in the information age. That's a Vincentian writing to the Vincentian Association, the Carnival Development Committee. I said we live in the information age where social media is the platform that everyone will use to promote wherever. I said that the CDC should invite or pay a celebrity to promote and enjoy a Vincy Mass. I even said that they should invite someone from this very platform, Shade Room, to Vincy Mass to promote Vincy Mass because it is one of the biggest content creators on the internet. Lo and behold, everything that I have suggested into the CDC, the people responsible for St. Lucia Carnival have taken the cue. Millions of people now going to see this clip of Chloe Bailey at the St. Lucia Carnival. Let me read that again. Millions of people are now going to see these clips of Chloe Bailey at the St. Lucia Carnival. Now you're going to have even more interest in attending the St. Lucia Carnival come 2024. I want to read that again. Now you are going to have even more interest in attending the St. Lucia Carnival come 2024. Guess who will benefit from this in St. Lucia? By the way, guess where the music that's playing is from? Yes, St. Lucia. Some of us do not like when constructive criticism is given, so they take things personally. My criticism, suggestions are nothing personal with me. I give my opinions here because I think they are sound. And play the two clips to me at the bottom, please. Black boy, scroll up. Is it there? Yeah, there are two clips of Chloe at... Okay. All right, wow. And somebody just sent me a post. All right, well, they have two clips of her dancing in the band. Let me just show you all folks very quickly her followers. All right, there are two clips of her dancing, but, Black Boy didn't play it. We'll play it after the break. But just put on that pic for me. She has 6.6 million followers. Could you put that up for me, please, Black Boy? 6.6 million followers. So folks, and Chloe brought her sister as well. Good night, Vicky. She brought her sister as well, but the sister did not jump carnival. Let me just tell you all this. You all have no idea. You all have no idea the economic returns that we are yielding from this activity. And you all are making noise about a couple $1,000s being spent on a wall. Yes, look at this, folks. Look at Chloe's followers, 6.6 million. 6.6 million. You know? So, Linus Clark, are you watching that? Mr. Socks, Kabish Babuno, Ukave Saguma. Nuni celebrities here. Exe mouna ka pale about nou ka mal depase l'ajan. Rufus Andre, Beverly Andre, hein? Yo ka di nou ka mal depase l'ajan. Sa yo kwen nou kuyo kon moun nan kite la avan? Non, man. Non. Nou ka fe bagay ki bo pou peya, nou ka fe bagay pou vre peya douvan, nou ka fe bagay pou moun koumanse repeya, ek peya pou ale o chay koti. Ek Gasa, yo moun ki vini, ini 6.6 million moun ka vi. Zot ka ba be about $7,000, but zot ka wete few about $7 million. You know? Come on, man. Come on. You know, this lady is going to return. And as the Vincentian said, millions are going to view this. And she will come back next year. And she will come carrying, I don't want to call them baggage, but she will come with gifts. Gifts of celebrities that will take St. Lucia even to higher heights. You know? Indeed, an entourage. Yes, and it cost us virtually nothing. You know, we got that kind of exposure for free. For free. So when you listen to those jackalacks who have no clue as to how to run a country, we spend small for huge returns. Let me tell you all something. You see that little black boy from Masha called Philip J. Pierre? Let me tell you. If that man open his mouth too loud, you seen brain. The man has brain all in his head. You know, all of us have a little compartment with brain. Brain, if you open his mouth too loud, brain, you see. The man has brains.
Yes.
We are spending small for great returns. And I have no difficulty with that. Those are the economic returns that will redound to the benefit of the average St. Lucian. Because no dollar sees more revolution than when it is in the hands of Maliwe. You know? So don't make noise about $7,000. Make noise about the $7 million vaccine money. Make noise about the St. Jude. The one contract was $52 million direct award. Another one was $26 million direct award. Another one 11 days before election, $11 million direct award. Did I say 11? 70 million. Make noise about that. Make noise. Don't make noise about the thousands. Don't make noise about the thousands. Make noise that our ball that was valued at 60 million was sold for less than a quarter of the price. Make noise about that. You know, make noise about the airport. Make noise about that. The fact is, and there is, I mean, the evidence is there. The evidence is there, and it cannot be controverted that St. Lucia is now in better hands. That is a fact. St. Lucia is in better hands now. And I want you all to put that, not in your pipes, because we can't have him going away. Put that in your pipes and smoke it, jackalacks. Smoke it. Because when you can criticize the lowering of the prices of goods meant to spearhead the construction industry and spur economic activity, once you can criticize that, I don't know what else you will not criticize and talk about plywood soup and plywood bakes. Rubbish. You know, you're like jackalacks of the highest order. So, folks, Carnival went down well. What are your views on Carnival? Shelton is here with me now.
You know, but by all indications and the feedback I got.
No. You cannot be the wrong person because, like you, I don't jump Carnival.
Okay, all right, okay. But by all indications, we had a Carnival that went well. Where I am concerned, and that's always something that is of concern to me, Richard, is that the Carnival seemed to have gone relatively free of crime, of violence. As a matter of fact, I would say that the days of Carnival seem to have been some of the best days that we have had so far for this year.
Well, I don't want you to steal the wind of my sails because I'm coming to thank the police.
Yes. I think
that is where I'm going.
I think we should, and the citizenry.
Oh yes.
And maybe it might be a little too early, too premature these days. You have to be afraid to say anything, and the next thing it all explodes. But I wonder if there is some kind of medicament. You remember that song by the Kassav, Zukla Sesel Medicament? Medicament. Well, I don't know. Carnival, maybe Carnival has a medicament in it for the people.
Well, let's suggest we have Carnival twice a year.
Right. I don't know, but I was apprehensive because especially last lap, when people have rum in their head, when young men want to go and be bad, when people see an opportunity to go and whine behind, people who probably don't welcome it and so on. I expected to hear some eruption somewhere. I didn't hear anything like that. I waited for police press releases to say that there was something. As a matter of fact, what I saw was a press release that an arrest has been made in a recent stabbing death in the Mondino area. Yes. So actually it was good news.
Good news.
That, at least somebody has been reeled in and so on. Let's hope there'll be successful prosecution. So if that is the case, then I am happy the way that it went.
Yes. Okay, let me say a special good. Anson Maxwell, I know you locked on from New York. Good night to you, my brother. Good night to Avery Philip Footy. Good night to you. Good night to Dudu Myru. Good night. Solange James says Carnival was fantastic. All competitions were great. Yes, man. Melinda Joshua Parker says utter nonsense alone with those jackalacks. Carnival went down well, folks. We got and we are still getting a lot of publicity as a result. For jazz, which they had stopped, Maliways made money. Carnival, Maliways made money. And right now, at the very least, we have begun approaching a situation or a system of egalitarianism. Equality. It is not when you have Soleil confined to hotels and the rich get richer at the expense of the Maliway not making a dollar that you will ever bolster the economy of your country. Right now, money is spreading. Money is spreading and every Maliway is making a dollar, and I feel eternally grateful. I am gratified when I see that. There are a couple people who I send by that on my name. I said, look, but if you do pay, I'll mess you up. Good. I'll mess you up. I will never, ever. I'll put your name everywhere. You can't get credit nowhere again. I'm messing you up.
That's why I can't get credit anymore.
So
I know the answer.
Persons turn back and they have gone paid their bills nice. So I'll not put their names mess them up again so they can still get their line of credit. It pleased me. A lady come, Mr. Frederick, have Dax to give me 5 cases of beers and 2 cases and 2 bottles. Okay, just don't mess me up because I'll mess you up. You can never get credit nowhere again. And call Dax, DeAndre, what's up? Oh yeah, that one paid, everybody has paid that one, only have an empty case of beers, so maybe they'll bring it for me. I like that. Because if there is one thing, I was born in a situation of almost poverty. Thank God my parents my mother was a banana farmer, my father a truck driver, 11 children. Nothing was plentiful, I know how it is to struggle. And so when you can pass on the benefit of at least getting out of that situation to someone who has shown a tendency of willingness to get out. After at City Council, I'm coming to you all in a bit. A willingness to get out of the situation. It pleases me if I can give them the push and they respect the push and turn around and discharge their responsibility with in a manner that is without fault. So I like that. So it's not one set of people now, and I believe I can safely, on behalf of the Honorable Prime Minister and my cabinet of colleagues, my colleagues, expressed gratitude to everybody. When cabinet decided to extend, and that's something that a lot of people didn't even notice, we extended the stoppage hour from 6 to 7. Personally, I was a bit apprehensive. I was concerned about the safety of the citizens of this country. But the police were up to the task and they delivered. And I want to take this opportunity to thank the Commissioner of Police, Ronald Phillips, his men, his deputies, his ACPs for a job well done. You police officers executed well. You all did what was expected of you. You all turned out well. I also want to thank the RSS officers. I want to thank them for standing with us as a government, standing with our local officers in ensuring that at least there is a certain return of peace and tranquility to our country. I want to thank you all immensely. We shall be eternally grateful, I can tell you. And I know my colleagues share that same sentiment. There was one single woman police officer, Acting Sergeant 764 Henry. I was standing on John Compton Highway in a place that was meant for government officials, and I was standing with the Prime Minister for a long while. And I had Sergeant 764, Acting Sergeant 764 Henry under observation from my vantage point. And I must say that since my police days of Frances Henry, who incidentally carried number 165 and was Henry as well, she ended up being assistant commissioner. I have never seen a woman police so assertive. She was very assertive. I'm not saying there are no others, but I don't come across them often. Acting Sergeant Henry was assertive, but yet she was respectful. And that is what you need in a police officer. You have the combination of being assertive with showing respect. Because as a police officer, the public will deal with you with utmost reciprocity. The way you treat them is the treatment they give you. Sir, they'll call you sir. Madam, they'll call you madam. But if you start cursing the police, the citizen, expect a retort. So I want to commend you, Acting Sergeant Henry. You are indeed a good police officer. Bravo to you. And you know, you reminded me of Robocop. Ex-Inspector Leo. Leo will pull you up on his motorcycle. Leo will come.
Is that Leo Henry?
No, not Leo Henry.
Okay.
Leo is his surname. The other one is, you talk about Zeus.
Okay, Gerald Leo.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
the motorcycle man.
Motorcycle man.
Yes, yes.
He would pull you up. You'll stop. Good morning, sir. Morning, madam. How are you today? You know, the man would be as polite as one can possibly be. He would be as cool as a lamb, as docile as calm waters. I mean, Leo would basically win your heart, turn around, and give you 10 charges. That is how he operated. Leo was never one to disrespect any citizen. You know, now when you have now a sergeant of police calling a minister of government a jackass on social media, what have we been reduced to?
Yeah, well.
Because if I am present and any citizen calls a police officer a jackass and that police officer does not arrest the citizen, I will report the police officer. Because that is an insult of the highest order and the person can be arrested for that. But what example does a sergeant set by going on social media and calling forget who the sergeant is, forget who the minister is, but calling a minister a jackass?
Yeah.
You know? So, you know, those are the kind of things that you get. And at the end of the day, when one behaves like that, you must expect members of the public to generally disrespect.
But let me ask you a question. When a sergeant of police does that, and if the sergeant I have in mind is the same one, it looks like this isn't the only incident with that sergeant where he comes out showing naked political, not even bias, but aggression.
You talk about Jan Gustav.
Yeah. Why is that sergeant still in the police force and still at the forefront? Why is that? You know, that is the question. It's not that I'm advocating for people to lose their jobs and their means of living, but there are some things that you see, and thankfully it is very few police officers who do it. But the kind of thing that Jan Gustav has reportedly been doing, and Cameron Law, you know, when he's president, we need to ask ourselves, is there a breakdown somewhere in the regulatory and disciplinary process?
Where in the world would a sitting police officer get involved in a runoff, never resign, get involved in a runoff, lose the runoff, go to work tomorrow
as if nothing ever happened? You have to ask yourself if that person is holding some seaway for somebody, whatever, and they're afraid to act upon it. I'm not advocating victimizing people.
That's not victimization.
But when you wear the state insignia and uniform and so on, you have to conduct yourself in a certain way. And it is for your own good, so that when you effect an arrest or some prosecution against somebody, you do not leave room open for them to say it's because
I'm this and you are that.
Exactly.
No, but when you Shelton, when you so blatantly display your political loyalty, one can say you are not being impartial in the execution of your duty.
Exactly. Perception. You know, you have created
and you are bringing it upon yourself.
Precisely what I'm saying. But you know, that is a police officer. But Richard, I don't know if you have gone there already. Maybe while I was coming, I missed this kind of thing. But some people don't even seem to understand that as a minister of government, you are entitled to police protection and security and escort and that kind of thing.
I've not gone there.
I see somebody belly aching about this and I almost didn't say. I almost said something stronger than belly aching. You know, you know, somebody come in and make a big hullabaloo about he has police protection and police detail protecting him at your expense. And I'm saying, but wait, that's a minister of government. That's a minister. You have people who not for protection but for showboating and grandstanding purposes right in the yard of the government buildings, the Graham Rizzi administrative building. You know, anytime they move, you have police outriders and escort and siren blowing. And I'm saying, but wait, if it's security you're concerned about, why do you want to be announcing your presence and your journey and your route and your travel far ahead of you every single time like that? You had people doing that. Did we ever hear a word of criticism against this kind of excess, this kind of abuse?
But that's exactly what I'm telling you. They will see $7,000 on a wall, but they will not see $7 million on vaccine.
Right.
So that is the way it goes, right, Alison? Alison Fede, I'll make you a commissioner of police. Glendale Viewford, good night. Rossi Cow, MacArthur, good night. So again, I just want to, the bad cops are an exception.
Yes.
They're just few in number. Generally, police officers are good.
Yes.
Folks, we will continue upon our return of thanking those persons who were involved, including our CCC workers. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Winning numbers for the evening draw of Thursday, 20th July 2023 were tic-tac-toe, 3, 4, 6, 11, 17, 18, 21. Big 4, 4966. Big 4 multi-X, 2X. Pick 2, 85. Pick 2 multi-X, FP. One off, 991. Lucky 3, 809. Lucky 3 multi-X, 3X.
Nestled in the quiet northern neighborhood of Larry Twet is a housing development designed specifically for homeowners looking for that ideal location, the epitome of serenity, a retreat from the hustle and bustle of everyday living. Our homes cater to the specific needs of you, the modern homeowner: style, comfort, space, and above all, privacy. Want to experience scenic, breathtaking mountain views, postcard garden sunsets, balconies overlooking well-manicured gardens, and large yard and parking space? Visit us today.
My name is Martina. I would like to say thank you to the guys from Paddy Access, especially Jermaine, for a job well done. I called him 2 days before my brother's funeral to do a live video, and I was not disappointed. He was professional and kept in touch with me throughout the live, just making sure I was satisfied with everything. I would definitely use Paddy Access again, and I highly recommend that anyone looking to do a live video to hire them. Everyone who watched my brother's funeral had good things to say about how much of a good job the videographer did. If you want satisfaction for your money, Paddy Access is the way to go.
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
Advertising doesn't have to be complicated. MBC TV and Real FM combination is a proven way to advertise your products and services in St. Lucia and across the region. That's great! We provide television.
This is NBC Prime.
Radio and social media advertising, which effectively gets your message to clients and customers throughout the region and beyond. NBC TV and Real FM is today's best option in advertising. Call us today at 758-453-7458 or 758-286-6565.
Thanks for staying tuned during the break. We were graced with the presence of Skinny, and he brought us some jute chicken. I had a bite, I have to admit. His jute chicken is just irresistible.
Out of this world, huh?
Out of this world.
Yeah.
And you know, you see the chicken and you're reminded of the Bam Bam Wall.
I want to disavow that one. That's not what it reminded me.
You want to disassociate yourself with that?
The Bam Bam Wall, I do not disavow its existence, and you know, I watch it on television and all of that, but not the chicken reminding me.
Yeah, folks, I was saying, you know, by and large, we have good police officers, by and large. But generally, it's a handful who seemingly tarnish the reputation, not only of themselves, but of the force. Because if you have any of those guys in charge of any kind of activity that may have a mixture of persons with various political views, they may find themselves, you know, with a clash of conscience, where they will sideline their role as a police officer, and their loyalty to a given political party might just come to the fore and behave in a manner that a reasonable police officer ought not behave. In that regard, you have to ensure that you send those guys to work somewhere where they have a minimal interfacing with members of the general public, so as to avoid the possibility of persons saying that this police officer was squarely political in the execution of his duties. But Mr. Commissioner, those are just a few exceptions. Once again, I want to thank you, Mr. Police Commissioner. I want to thank your deputies, your ACPs, and all of the rank and file of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force for a job immaculately done during the carnival season. You all did a good job for Jazz, and carnival, in my view, was a repetition. For Jazz, the traffic department was up to speed, you know, with Fraser and Frederick and all the others, you know. They did a wonderful job, and I have commended them before, and I will still continue to let commendations come their way as long as I have a voice. Bravo to all of you. You know, because folks, we are quick to bash the police. We are quick to bash the police if we believe that they did not come up to speed in the deliverance of their duties to our people. If we believe they faltered, we are quick to bash them. But, you know, I believe we owe them a duty, a responsibility of, you know, at least commending them when a good job is being done. So, RSLPF, team at RSLPF, thank you very, very much. I want to also thank the city police. The city police led by Mr. Kamshan Young. You know, you all did a good job as well. You all were out in your numbers, and you all complimented the others very, very well. Sergeant Alex and all the others, Brown and all of you, you all did a very, very good job. So I want to thank all of you. I want to thank the workers at Castries City Council, Arthur. Good night to you. The mayor, Mr. Suma. Mr. Suma is definitely a workhorse in terms of coordination. And I want to thank you, Nikki. I want to thank you guys very, very much. And I have a team, you know, I always say that I have a team at Castries City Council who sometimes report to me if they're picking up rubbish in an area. I mean, that is to tell you the level of communication we have. And nothing hits me by surprise, because I've told them that my doors are always open. Feel free to call on me at any time. And so far, they have been doing a very, very, very good job. I want to put up the picture of some of them for me, please. And I want to compliment some of them here. Those are some of them who worked You know, folks, let me just tell you all this. Those are just a few of them. Some of those guys worked on the Monday from the afternoon to the morning, 6 a.m.
Okay.
They were back at 2 p.m. and worked 2 p.m. to 6 a.m. on Tuesday morning. And in that regard, I want to call out a few of them who may not be in the photo. Ashley, Alton, Peter, Henry, Fabian, Gilbertha, Andre, Felicia, Cletus, Peter, Trevor, John, Gabriel, and all the others who worked extremely hard. Arthur, I've already shouted you. And of course, under Mr. Suma. And the woman who was working tirelessly, Miss Bryce. Miss Bryce, I want to thank you. I want to thank you very, very much. Never believe that the minister does not take cognizance of your dedication. Never believe that he does not take cognizance of your hard work. Sometimes it is difficult to say. You don't get the time to say it. But I want to tell you tonight, I appreciate all of you, and I appreciate the job that you all are doing. I really, really appreciate it, because when I pass and I see car streets squeaky clean, it pleases me. I would see something happening somewhere, somebody calls me, I would call Mr. Suma, I would call Nikki, I would call Arthur, and in a jiffy, it would be done. So I want to thank all of you all. I want to thank the support services as well. I even saw Borderly Mobile Prison, so to speak, on standby. Borderly men, good job. Good job, good job, good job. The ambulance drivers, you know, firemen, good job, all of you, all of you. And I want to thank you all on behalf of the government. The Carnival Development Committee, invariably, you spearheaded the execution of such a good product. How can you be thanked? I don't know. I mean, it's just, you know, you all did a phenomenal job, and I know that there are persons behind the scenes who work tirelessly to bring this immaculate production to fruition. I may not know all the persons, but I honestly, it's coming from the deeper crevices of my heart to express our deepest appreciation, because what you all have done, I don't even think you all understand the magnitude. You all have placed St. Lucia on the map, and you all may just be responsible for spearheading greater economic activity on this 240 square mile rock. So thank you all very, very much. Like I said, I cannot itemize each individual, but all the various bands, the revelers for behaving well. I want to thank all of you all, everybody who contributed one way or the other in making this event a successful one. You all will for sure have played your part in giving St. Lucia economic legs. Thank you very much. But folks, I want to say this. The party continues. Yes, it does. We are celebrating our 2nd anniversary of emancipation. And it is on July 26. Yes, emancipation was July 26, 2021. July 26 next week, Wednesday, will be 2 years since the good Lord took us from the shackles of the colonial masters, the descendants of the colonial men, who proudly boasted to us that colonialism had a conscience. Yes, the shackles were broken.
And amazingly, this year, after the local emancipation, the generalized emancipation of August 1st, I think that is going to be about 190 years since that happened. So,
yes, 1858.
So
yes.
not too long after. You know,
Yeah, August 1st is a couple of days after.
Yes.
Actually, August 6th is my birthday.
Yes.
So
in the emancipation period.
Emancipation. Yes, so Emancipation Day is going to be by Dax. 2 years since God took this good country of ours from the bondage of the descendants of the colonial masters. And he handed our leadership to one of our very own. Because even the Bible says that the tribes should be led by their men. And so we are being led by one of our own. And we are now climbing up the economic ladder. And there shall be no turning back. None. Because no longer can we tolerate anything like colonialism had a conscience. So, next week, Wednesday, folks, next week, Wednesday, we shall be by Dax. We shall be by Dax. It will be 2 years. You know, I'm seeing on my live here. Look at this. All right, don't give it legs. Look good.
Somebody put something on okay, leave it alone.
Yeah. Next week, Wednesday, from by Dax, from 4 p.m., we shall engage in our emancipation celebrations like we did last year. We will block the streets, we will have heavy police presence, and we will enjoy our freedom, our second year of freedom. We will have artists performing Ezra, Jagozile, with Hello Carnival. Nice to see you. Okay. We wanted T-Blacks, but T-Blacks is supposed to be traveling. But we will have the likes of Robbie Goodnight, Teresa Halsey, Educator, Black Pearl, Herb Black, Alpha, Arthur Ale, and the local king, the king of the people, the people's king, Ashanti, will also be there. Isai Hall said we are going to have a country and western competition as well, and DJ Shotman will be at the control. So yes, folks, that is next Wednesday from 4 p.m. The event is totally free. Some of you were there last year, but this year it's bigger and it's going to be better. We are celebrating our second year of emancipation on Victoria Street in the region around Dax businesses. You know, Isa and I had a conversation. He said to me, Richard, I need you to do something at that event. And I said, what it is? He said, let's recognize some prolific writers. And immediately he mentioned 4, and I told him who by 4, and we agreed. It was like I was reading his mind and vice versa. So at that thing, we are going to recognize 4 prolific writers: Brian Fiscalix, Naim Jabatis, Trescott Suku Augustine, and the man himself who lectured me at St. Mary's College, Rowan Sion. Most of the songs you all know. Most of the songs you all enjoy. Most of the songs you all sing and dance to were written by one of those 4 prolific writers. So we are acknowledging them. Talking about the event, folks, I believe we need to simplify things in this country. Whilst Isa is organizing what is a free event for all and sundry, he calls me and says to me, Richard, Nemo say they need an income tax letter from you before they give the all clear. So I said, what?
Nemo, income tax?
Income tax letter from me saying I don't owe income taxes before they give me a letter to give me the all clear to have what is a free activity. Well, you know I would have been infuriated even by hearing this alone. And before I opened my mouth, I must admit, I said, look, I will handle it. And he did. But folks, we need to simplify things in this country. We really need to. We need to ensure that our ease of doing business, we are ranked a little higher in the world. When investors look at the ease of doing business in various countries, that is one of the criteria they use to determine where they're going to invest their money, you know. That is what they use, the ease of doing business. A lot of people in this country are willing to comply with the laws. A lot of people are willing to pay whatever they have to pay to get whatever service they need to get. But the whole system makes it difficult for them. And I'm not blaming this government or last one or the one before. It is just that our whole manner, the way we do things need to change.
A little onerous, yeah.
It is too onerous. When you tell me, folks, look at this. You want clearance from NIMU. Look at this. A 30-page document. 30 pages. You think the average man who wants to have something in Mac or in Bexel or in Soufre, Labrie, Soisel or somewhere, he will take this 30-page document, go read it and do. I mean, we need to simplify things. Those things are deterrents. People want to comply with the law. People want to fall within the ambit of the law. But when you make it so difficult, basically you are telling them to engage in lawlessness. Look at liquor licenses. Everybody who sells alcohol does not mind paying for their liquor license. Mm-hmm. They don't mind. You tell them $300 a year, they pay it, they have their liquor license, they sell in their liquor. But you come in and ask them for floor plan, you ask them for land paper, you ask them for toilets, then you tell them you have court, you have to go to court. I mean, bon Dieu, c'est la Vierge Marie. You know, those procedures are too onerous. They are too onerous. And we need to find a simpler way to do those things. In Barbados, doing business is much, much easier, and that's why a lot of people are attracted to Barbados. Just imagine, hey, if a foreigner needs a license to buy land as a foreigner, they call it an alien and holding license. You have to get lawyer, you have to say who's your mother, your father, your bank account, your police record, endless documents. The lawyer needs to compile and send, and then it takes another year. In Barbados, it's a one-page thing. You pay whatever and you get it same day. You know, we need to simplify things to ensure we want people to operate within the ambit of the law. Let us not make it onerous. We cannot make it so onerous that people are lured into lawlessness, because that is what is happening. You know, the system is holding you down, it's stifling you. And basically it's telling you, go the other route. You know? Now, these jackalacks, you know the jackalacks. These jackalacks, in their quest for power, you know, chagoué pouvoir, as we say colloquially. Folks, the people put up their post in caps. Okay? They hacked my account and showed as though I, Richard Frederick, had liked one of the posts. Can you believe this?
All this manipulation.
You know,
going on.
Why you all are so manipulative? Why? If you all believe you all are strong, why you all stop the personal attacks? Deal with policy. Deal with policy. Personal attacks, deal with policy. Don't come with a bag of tricks. Don't come with that. Come with a factual basis to attack or have discourse with the government on policy issues. On policy issues. Everything for you all is a personal attack, a trick here, who's murdered there, who killed so many people there, Richard Frederick name mentioning murder. Oh crap, I've been hearing that. The electorate heard and voted for me 4 times. They have heard. They're tired of hearing it. You know, they have heard. And they keep hearing, you know, come and fight people strictly on policy. It's always a mepui, oh, this one and that one brother and that one sister and that one beat woman and that one murder. Hello. Come, let's talk economics. Let's talk about the VAT removal. Let's talk about the 2.5% imposition of the health and security levy. Let us go down that road. That's why we need to go down. But thank God our people are sufficiently intelligent now because they listen and they know fact from fiction. They know, look, I had reason to play in Parliament one of HTS's episodes of the E-poll dealing with the 2.5%, in which everybody interviewed, everybody agreed with it. You all think you all can continue fooling the people? I'll be doing a live on this and that and murder and your name. Your heart chance, what you all will tell him for elections? The same thing again? You know? So yes, folks, they cannot debate policy. They cannot debate results. They cannot debate the statistics which fly in their faces because there is good governance going on in this country now under the leadership of Philip J. Pierre. So they cannot deny that. So they're going down the route of mépris. Richard was corrupt here, he corrupt there, he corrupt there. Come with facts. I'll do a live there, I'll do a live there. Sasai. Come with facts. Come with policy. When I tell you unemployment has gone down, contradict it. When I tell you economic activity has bolstered, contradict it. When I tell you our growth rate has gone up in 2 consecutive years, contradict it. When I tell you the country is perceived to be less corrupt now, contradict it. That's what you'll need to contradict. Not crap about, I'll call his name, get your wine, and crap. You know, they feed on my energy, Hanson. But my energy is difficult to be fed on, you know. Because I deal with facts. I will not tell you that one steal in the hotel or steal there. I am going down that road. I deal with facts and facts alone. You know? That's what I deal with. And the people, the streets, taking my name. My name. After the personal attacks, they take my name. Put up that post for me. Put up that picture. Look at this. Richard Frederick and one other love that. Can you believe this, man? Can you believe that? You know? Can you believe?
Desperation.
You know, that's desperate. That is Chagoué pouvoir. Chagoué pouvoir. You know? Come with facts. Come with, you know, you all want to go for politics. And it's magie alone. Yeah. In 16 hours, 2 likes. And one is mine. 16 hours, 2 likes, one is mine. You know, I mean.
So not even the flambeau.
Not even the flambos.
You know, we're paying attention to it.
You know, I mean, because those people have no content. I doing a live, the murders, the people tired of hearing that. They are tired, they are sick. Come with, tell us how you will fight their causes. Tell us what you will say that can bring this country to economic viability. That's what we need. We need substance, not mépris. That one sister, my sister has a son, and that's politics today. That's politics. You know, folks, what do you think of that, Shelton?
I don't know, Richard. It's just a whole complex of the nonsensical that just seems to be defining and characterizing the United Workers' Party. I look at the United Workers' Party. I spent a little time last week as a temporary senator. And I have to tell you, all around, whether in the parliament or not, is just things that absolutely lack substance. And I realize now, Mr. Alan Chastney, this is not something I would even permit myself to get hot on the collar about, because it definitely shows that Alan Chastney, whatever bit of resourcefulness and intelligence he may have had around him, that all
it's
gone.
Gone.
It's gone now.
It's gone.
It's the same
set of mépris by different people.
Discredited people who come there and they speak. And you know, if you're not careful, these people talk a lot of irrelevance. But they make the irrelevant sound like it has substance in it because of the animation with which they deliver it. One of them in the Senate is especially good at that, come and talk a whole lot of nonsense.
That must be Dominic.
Irrelevant nonsense, but talk it in a manner where they have what you call verve. It has some verve to it, so you believe it is. I don't know if you can permit me to go down this road, but Richard, today on my message, I'm looking and I'm seeing somebody's sending me a message because I block certain people. I can't see them, you can't tag me on them or anything like that. But somebody screenshotted something from some social media platform, I think it's called Cap or whatever, posted by Minerva Ward. Breaking news, like there's been another ruling by the Privy Council, in favor of Alan Chastanet against,
that's the same thing we discussed already.
Against Richard Frederick. No, against Ernest Hilaire. No, we talked about the Mini Cooper. And
we had already spoken about that interrogatory application.
Okay.
Not today, not tonight.
No, but what I'm saying is that
they repeated it as breaking news.
They repeated the same thing as breaking news. In other words, this interlocutory matter, where simply the Privy Council made a determination as to which body of law would apply in that appeal before them, whether it's St. Lucia law or British or English common law. That was all they did. What they did was that they gave a ruling which is almost like a summary of their decision. But now they have issued the full judgment, the written judgment, where they go into details. This is why we say that it should be English common law. Okay, we make orders to cost. Each party will bear their own cost, or Ernest Hilaire will have to bear all the cost or whatever. So the detailed judgment gives all those things. But it's the same matter. But I'm seeing that she has gone and she has posted something. Breaking news, another win for Alan Chastanet against Ernest Hilaire. Privy Council rules that Ernest Hilaire's case against UWP political leader Alan Chastanet should be dismissed. And Mr. Hilaire should, it doesn't say pay, so there's a little error there.
I'm tired of saying, just give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Folks, I want to repeat. I'll say it in English and Patois. Alan Chastanet poku gen yon case en l'audience là. Let me say it in English. Alan Chastanet has not won one case. All of what has been that has gone before are what is called interlocutory, interim, in between applications that have been determined.
Preliminary things.
All of those preliminary things have to be done, and then the case is sent to trial.
Exactly. The substantive matter.
The substantive matter. None of the substantive matters have gone to trial. So I don't know case of what they win. It is a case of beer or case of soft drink. That is so much. And when you expect people to know better, that case is yet to be determined. That case can probably take another year or two. I want our people to understand that. Go ahead.
So she's taking the same, as you've already outlined, the same interlocutory preliminary matter concerning which body of law should govern the Privy Council's review of this matter. And she's making it sound like it is a final pronouncement, on the substantive matter. And I wrote that nothing could be further from the truth. The substantive matter is yet to be determined.
And that's a fact.
So what the Privy Council had issued, which we were talking about before, was a summary ruling earlier this year. And the detailed judgment is what they have now released, which goes into matters explaining the reasons or the basis for its ruling, and it also makes specific orders on relevant matters such as cost in order to give effect implementation to the ruling. Because the Privy Council can come out and say, okay, the body of law that we are going to deal with is English common law. But then at the end of the day, they have to come out and explain why and how they arrived at that decision. And then they have to say, okay, the cost in this interlocutory or preliminary matter, this is what Ernest Hilaire will bear, or they will split it, or each one will look after their own cost.
They can even say that the cost determination will be consequent upon the full hearing of the matter.
So we can tell people categorically, emphatically, Ernest Hilaire has not lost any case against Alan Chastanet. Alan Chastanet has not won. But that seems to be the modus operandi, if it can be said to be a new UWP, because the same people, they're recycling all over again, the same people who have been discredited, around whom all kinds of scandals have swirled. That somebody can come and try to pull this kind of fast one, You know, the same way I see the same somebody coming out and suggest that a government minister is giving directions to the police as to who to arrest and who not to arrest and so on. You know, I mean, come on. You know, maybe that might have happened in a different government, but this government led by Philip Japier, this government that has an attorney general.
After 6 weeks of making a report.
Yeah, exactly.
After six
weeks of making a report.
But
I mean, I don't want to go too deep, as you probably don't want to, because maybe this might be the subject of further, you know, court action and so on. But this is the kind of thing you have people coming to Parliament saying that it was the Labour Party that removed the subsidy on rice, flour and sugar, you know, trying to rewrite history nakedly.
It was Alan Shastney that removed the subsidy on rice, flour and sugar.
No, but I'm telling you this, a senator actually came and actually said that.
Alan Shastney removed the subsidy on rice, flour and sugar because he said that subsidy does not meet the intended targets. He would replace it. He said all the hotels were enjoying it when it was meant for poor people. So he would replace it and find a mechanism to target the poor. But he never did.
He never did. Yeah.
So that's not. Anyway, so folks, you all saw this piece of nonsense that I like. Teresa in Boapatat, good night. Nigel Sinclair, good night. Serena Charles in Florida, good night, good night, good night. Luther Alsay, Master Wong. Master Wong volé domino. Whoa. David Molui in the US, David says you look like a pastor. And he told me not, he asked me not to tell you, not to tell anybody.
Okay, well,
so I'm not telling you.
All right, so, you know, I didn't hear a thing. You haven't told me. You have kept David's confidence.
Yeah, okay, David, so I didn't tell him you said he looks like a pastor. Petro Edmond in Beaufort, good night to you. So when you tell me, what was the intention to show Richard Frederick liked that post? Huh?
Ridiculous.
Wasn't that done on the altar of deceit?
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Why will I like any of that kind of nonsense? I mean, for me to like a post of that nature, I would have had to hit St. Lucia. And I love St. Lucia. I love my sweet St. Lucia. And I cannot wait for the next election for me. For I, Richard Frederick, to find myself on Bebe's platform. I cannot wear Jagosile Navini. Once Philip says that is the date, I will find myself on Bebe's platform. Right. I must. And whoever it is, if they thought Spider got licks, the next one they send, anyone they send, will get more licks than a whole 40-foot container of lollipops. Licks. So I will appear, licks like peas, and y'all are too deceitful. For example, last week, I played what Yadi said, and I spoke about provocation. I said people provoke people. Some of us have various degrees of tolerance or tolerances. And what they did, they edited what I said. They edited it to end where Yadi spoke. And they left where I disclaimed association with the violence and that I don't support violence. And they made a post. You know, those people are so stupid. Every time they do that, they give me content. Every time they come and they talk about Richard Frederick, they give me content. So if I'm saying I wouldn't do the show, they give me content to come and do the show. Because I have to basically refute the nonsense that they spew. Oh, Richard Frederick liked violence. And you know, I saw an ex-minister, I'll come to that, comment under that about if a man who's on his third marriage beating wives left, right, and center.
Oh my goodness.
Talking about if you have money and influence, you can escape the law. You know, some of us need to know our places and keep our mouth shut. Press our mute buttons. So yes, folks, I said I don't subscribe to violence. I said it. But what they did, they edited my post, they edited the thing, left out the bit where I literally had a disclaimer to Yadi's assertions and went on to say he's violent, but I want his violent. Let me remind them of what I said. Could you play what I said for me last week, please? Okay, thanks. He was back on me so very, very quickly, folks. Let me just say this. I want to say this, that personally, I don't condone violence. I don't. But the message is clear. I remember Musa, good night. I remember Musa giving us a story about a man, I'm not sure of the man's name, but in his constituency, he provoked a man. And Musa said one day, the man whom he provoked took a cutlass, sharpened it. He chopped the man. The man died. Part of the body rolled down a hill. And he went there and he chopped until the body had to be picked up with a spade. It is not my way of dealing with things. I don't condone it. I don't condone violence of any sort. But it tells you how some people can react to provocation. It tells you how some people can react to provocation. And it was only last week Musa was telling us, only last week, he said everybody in the community, everybody, Musa, if you're hearing me, give me a call. He'll probably tell us about that case. He said everybody in the community knew that the deceased had provoked the man for years and years and years and years. And at some point, the man could not take anymore. And Musa gave us the story that when the man half body rolled down the hill, the man went down the hill and he finished him off. I'm repeating, I don't condone violence. It is not my way of dealing with things. It's not my way, and I will not subscribe to it. But there are some people whose degree of tolerance may not stretch as far as that of Richard Frederick. Because you all need to stop provoking people. Stop the provocation. You all need to do that. Thank you very much. So, folks, this is what I said. But before going into that, let me say good night to a couple of people. Moving Rosary, good night to you. Rennie Zedman, advance birthday greetings to you, coming over from your mommy, Petra. Peter the Great, good night to you. Nikki Cauldron, Nikki just reminded me that the bus we built next to the Grocery bus center, bus stop, were inundated with people both Monday and Tuesday, and they were well poised to receive much economic activity that redound to the benefit of those persons whom we have turned to business people.
All right.
So I'm happy that those moves are living up to the expectation. Trisha and Derry, so good night to you. Rossini just sent me a picture, and Chloe, I want you to put that picture up for me in a bit when you get it. She put up a picture and it was liked by 1.1 million people. 1.1 million people like her pic that she put up, she took in St. Lucia. So, folks, those are the kinds of benefits that we will get as a result of this carnival that was just gone. You know, sometimes some people cannot see before their noses, as I said, but we are better government. We are more visionary, you know, and we know how to get things done, you know, and we get them done. They redound, like I said, to the benefits of the people of this country, you know. Now, okay, that's the photo. Look at this. Liked by 1,069,255 others.
That is some numbers, huh? That is some numbers.
In St. Lucia.
That's some numbers.
You know, folks, can you scroll up, because there's a place she said had the best time of my life. Had the best time of my life. Okay, we can't read the more here. But basically, she said she had the best time of her life in St. Lucia.
That's right.
And you're talking about $7,000.
1 point something million people must.
It's phenomenal.
That must include people who far
celebrities
and wide, yes.
Across the globe.
Yes.
Across the globe.
Yeah.
You know? So I was saying, when they edited that post there and said I endorse violence, an ex-minister, I mean, I was surprised. You know, when you live in a glass house, you don't throw stones. But here you are living in a glass house, you're throwing a big stone. A big one. You could have been arrested so many times for beating women. You know? And you have the audacity to talk about if people have money and connections, they escape the law.
Yeah,
well, you have a lot of money and thing.
We're getting a lot of that.
You know,
yes.
This is sad.
Because it appears, like I said, like the United Workers' Party does not have talking points. Like you say, you pan conversation. They don't have any talks. You know, remember one time a UWP minister said, no talks, no talks, no talks. Well, it seems like that is the state that the party finds itself in. No talks. They don't have... You pas ni bagay puis ça discuter, you pas ni bagay qui ka fait science. Parole sans science ou ka tan is always some ad hominem thing at somebody, you know, about their life and their personal life and maybe embarrassment politics seems to be the only type of politics that's been attempted to see if you can embarrass people.
Yeah, that's all.
Nothing about okay.
Nothing of substance.
This policy that the government has about writing off the interest or waiving the interest and penalties on people who have not passed on VAT, it is ill-advised, blah, blah, blah. This is what we instead suggest that they do and so on. Nothing like that. It's always something about try to see if you can embarrass somebody. And they're the ones who complain about wanting to be silenced, you know. How somebody always wanting to silence. But what they're trying to do is to use embarrassment as a tool of silencing people so that you'll be so ashamed. Your head will be buried and will be kept down and you won't dare talk. That is what I see is happening.
And you know the worst thing is, you see, you don't take them on. You pretend they are non-existent. And they like that one, you on your live, you call in my phone. Why? Why? They always interfere with you. Call your sister, your mother, your this, your that, your the other. Martin Philogene, good night. Joan Philogene, Sancha, good night. You know, I mean, it's just, they have nothing of substance, so they just come and attack you. I'll be doing a live, I'll be doing a live, I'll be doing a live, I'll be... Nonsense.
Do your live.
Tell people, come with policies. Come with policies. And like I said, I can't wait for the next elections, because if what I'm hearing now is what happened 20 years ago and I still keep hearing it, it means there is nothing new. Now, folks, I cannot say much on this, but with respect to the incident of the car that blocked me, as I speak now, you may have heard from a different source that the police have an individual in custody. And in a nutshell, Sister Bia, good night to you. In a nutshell, the man who police has in custody has corroborated everything I said. And he has agreed with my version of events. He has agreed that whatever Richard said is essentially true. Suffice it to say, folks, I was accused of making up a story. I was accused of wanting sympathy. I was accused of wanting to frame somebody. I was accused of being a con artist. I was accused of being followed by a drug dealer who had given me 21 days to pay the drug money. Even the fake pastor ridiculed me, saying, I hope it's not Aaron Shasta that was driving the car. Ridiculed me. You know? And today, I am hearing that I was playing on the road with somebody. Playing on the road. At 1:45 in the morning, permit you to pass me, and thank God there are cameras, thank God there are cameras, thank God there are cameras. Permit you to pass once, permit you to pass twice, block me, but I was playing on the road. But if I was playing on the road for so long, I've been speaking about that. That's almost 6 weeks now. Whoever you knew I was playing with you, you should have gone to the police and tell them it's play we were playing. But no. I made a report.
And I suppose it had to take the police some time to investigate.
The police did the investigations.
To ascertain who was driving that vehicle.
And then they effected an arrest. But the police force is weaponized. Nobody, you see, and that is it. When people transgress the law, they must expect the repercussions of the application of the law. I didn't invite anybody to play with me. I didn't invite anybody to block me. I didn't invite anybody to put my life in so much fear that had anyone come out of that car, I would have, that person, I don't know where they would have been. I was in fear of my life. I didn't ask anybody to put my life in fear. But today, I am the one who made the report, who awaited investigations. It's over a month, going on 6 weeks, like I said, this thing happened. But I weaponized the police force. I did this and I did that. So it's no longer the drug money. It's no longer I'm looking for sympathy. It's no longer I'm a con artist. Now it is, I was playing. The very people who were saying I was playing on the road were the ones who had said they wish the police would solve it. The police took their time and do what they're doing. I will say no more on that for now. You know, because everything in this country now is politicized. But one thing I will tell you, I don't care how much politics you all play, anyone who threatens my life, you have a choice and so do I. And at 1:45 in the morning, with what is happening now, I would have taken no chances, not even with a mosquito. No chances at all. Playing on the road? Excuse me? Excuse me? First it was sympathy. I'm a con artist. I lie. I trying to frame somebody. It was a drug man that I owe money. They give me 21 days. But 21 days passed long already. My daughter, they come in for her. And now is the fake pastor ridiculing me. And now I was playing. Why? Let me leave that one. Folks, boy, what's happening with the UK now, man? The UK is on a move, and the move is essentially to raise its finances.
Yeah, there is money, you know, financial trouble. So
yeah.
They put in visa requirements, so that means that you have to pay.
That is correct.
You tend to just your plane ticket and so on.
But Shelton, and again, we know that, I mean, our people are sufficiently intelligent that they can decipher truth from untruth. And when everything you do or say, you find some kind of political connection between what a first world country does and says, its policies, and squarely blame either the government or minister therefrom for something that has absolutely nothing to do with them.
And not only that too, this is the age of this kind of hit piece journalism and so on, where there are publications that for a fee, they will carry slanted stories where the facts are skewed. And we know that there are people who are flush with cash who can pay those kind of mercenary publications and so on to do those things. Of all the countries that the UK has reportedly indicated, because I haven't heard or seen anything official from any UK High Commission. What I'm seeing is something reported about a publication in Miami or whatever that has carried the report. But listen to this.
It has been carried in the Guardian in the UK.
Yeah, but even if...
And no, I will know, but I have a clip of the Prime Minister of England.
Right. But regardless
have you seen that?
Yes, I saw it. But regardless of this, in the locally circulating ones, you see a concerted effort to focus on 4 governments in the OECS. Okay. It is Dominica, it is Antigua and Barbuda, it is St. Lucia and St. Kitts and Nevis. Significantly, all 4 of these OECS states are headed by Labour Party governments. You understand? St. Kitts and Nevis changed government, Antigua and Barbuda under Gaston Brown is Labour, St. Lucia is, and Dominica is. And you ask yourself, all other countries that include Honduras and all those other places, why are they not being highlighted and mentioned as the British government has indicated? It's those 4 OECS governments, which has caused me to wonder, and I could be wrong, whether somebody is taking a legitimate outflow of information from the British Foreign Office or whichever department is responsible and trying to make some kind of political narrative that suits their agenda. I've had to ask myself that question.
No, I look at it from a totally different standpoint. Because now, I mean, the Prime Minister said quite overtly that, those persons who come to their shores are a significant expenditure on their budget. And he said that they are spending money that they never allocated on NHS and blah, blah, blah for those persons. And therefore, they need to raise money in the tune of in excess of £1 billion per year. And even now, Shelton, I'll tell you why I went beyond that. I went beyond that because it's applicable to Australia, to New Zealand, to the other countries. It's applicable to, and even Americans are now targeted. Even Americans. Could you put up the thing on the Americans, please?
Yeah, okay.
The Americans. You see, Americans will need a visa to visit Europe in 2024.
But Europe and the UK are not the same. I mean, remember the UK has pulled out of Europe now.
I know. There was the European
There's the Brexit now.
The Brexit now, yes. Okay, yes. United States passport holders have long traveled throughout most of the world without having to worry about visa applications. American travelers currently have visa-free to 184 destinations worldwide, according to this year's Henley Passport Index, which ranked the US as the 8th most powerful. But this is about to change next year as the European Union prepares a new travel document requirements for American tourists. The new regulations are called the European Travel Information and Authorization System. When the system launches in early 2024, it will require all of visitors who currently travel to Europe visa-free, such as citizens from the US, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, to apply for travel authorization and receive approval prior to their departure. So basically, whatever they're doing is it's akin to having a visa, but it is done with the quest of raising revenue.
Yeah, no, I am not questioning the legitimacy of that, the information or the purpose. What I am concerned about is the manner in which it is already being or going to be spun here in St. Lucia to make people believe. In fact, I heard Dominic Fede giving an interview, not in the chamber speaking, but outside the Parliament building, it seems, with media, which I think included NBC and so on. and making the point that it is something that is wrong with our CIP. It is something about Iranians that we're dealing with, that it is this and that.
No, but
and all those kinds of things that have been thrown about.
My difficulty is, Shelton, you have a policy taken whether by the UK or the EU, Britain, whoever took the policy, that is extraneous to decisions made within the confines of our jurisdiction.
I understand that.
They impact us adversely.
I understand that too.
We are not the only country that is negatively impacted by their policy decisions. You have other Caribbean countries as well as of first world states. Okay? But yet, the Flabos have a post blaming Hile.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The manner in which they will be spinning it here to make people believe it is something that the government and St. Lucia has done wrong, which is why the visa is being imposed. That's what they do all the time.
It's just
it's something. It's some kind of crookedness. It's some kind of bubble. It's some kind of link to international terrorism and money laundering and all of that we have that make when in fact that decision applies to so many other countries like ours who have not been blacklisted for terrorism or financing or any of those violations,
Today, the Prime Minister of the Bahamas, he was in Brussels at the ECLAC meeting, whatever, climate change, blah, blah, blah. And he literally blasted the UK. He blasted, the European Union, because they blacklisted the Bahamas. And he was saying that they have done better than a lot of European countries in basically acceding to the demands, whatever. And because they are poor, relatively, that the European Union can do them whatever they please.
Yeah, these countries are always picking on countries like ours in the Caribbean because of our vulnerability, because of our dependence on tourism and so on. They're always dumping on us. It doesn't matter what you do. They will tell you, okay, they want you to tighten up this loophole. They want you to pass this legislation. The moment you do it, the goalpost shifts. They keep shifting the goalpost on you all the time. Because the issue is very little about what is happening with you than what their needs are. They are in a financial bind. Europe is England, the UK. They're feeling the negative effects of Brexit.
But they're blaming immigration.
Exactly, It's always
they're blaming immigration, and the Prime Minister quite boldly said they have to find an avenue to raise the money. And the only way they'll raise the money is through visa applications. So whilst it appears that the Americans applying for visas would be a matter of formality, it is still a practice where Americans will have to pay. Now, at the end of the day, you don't know if an element of reciprocity will come through here, because the Americans don't think anything like it. Once you attack their people, you attack them. And basically, once the people are adversely affected, they will get something done. I'm not sure if now they will strike the European countries that are now on their list for freedom of movement, if they will impose visa restrictions on them as well. So the whole thing is, you see, sometimes when you within your own domestic space, you are formulating policies that concerns you and will bring about revenue for you, but impacts negatively on other countries, you must be willing to be at the receiving end for reciprocity.
Yes.
Because I don't think all of those countries will take that lightly. I told you, boy, they said this man delivered in Brussels today. Actually, I have the article there. You want to read the article? They put up the article by the Prime Minister of the Bahamas, please.
Philip Brave Davis, PM, EU blacklisting indefensible, immoral.
Yes.
Let's go there.
You can read it there. Hold on.
Yeah, it's those lights, I think, that are really... No. It's kind of difficult for me. I think the reflection of those lights in my glasses is giving me difficulty. And I turn my glasses because I just had them changed.
Let me just... Charging the blacklisting of the Bahamas by the European Union is both indefensible and immoral. Prime Minister Philip Davis yesterday called on the EU to take your economic feet off our necks and immediately remove the Bahamas from your blacklist. Davis made the call during a hard-hitting address at the plenary session of the Third European Union Community of Latin America and the Caribbean States Summit in Brussels, Belgium, where he also challenged the EU to deliver on its promise, noting that the Bahamas' vulnerability in the face of climate change. Davis said there is much the EU can do to help? Can a country as small as ours grow strong enough to face such threats? I say yes. And to our friends in the European Union, I say there are 3 things that can be done immediately, done today, done this week, done this month, Davis asked. Firstly, remove us from your blacklist, he continued. Take your economic feet from our necks. The EU has placed us on a blacklist using criteria which were unfairly applied to us and not to European jurisdictions or those in developed countries. And that's what always happens.
Yes.
The small countries, when you look at issues of climate change,
we get dumped upon.
Our carbon emission is minimal. Yet we, in the small island developing states, feel the brunt of the hurricanes. China, America, and those industrialized countries, they are the ones that emit all the pollution, all the carbon into the atmosphere.
And I was about to tell you, Richard, you see what you said about this thing targets, the EU is targeting Americans and Canadians, and Americans might retaliate. I am even prepared to bet with you, Richard, that at the end of the day, they will come to some arrangement with each other. The North America, Canada, and the EU.
Yes.
And you know who they'll put the squeeze on?
The Caribbean countries,
and the Bahamas. And it's always us, the so-called third world, and that they are dumping upon. At the end of the day, they will forgive each other. They will give what you call waivers to each other. They'll give a waiver to Europe, will give waiver to America. America will give waiver to Europe and to Britain and so on. And they'll say, okay, it's all right. Congress has decided. And at the end of the day, it's under St. Lucia and Antigua and Barbuda and St. Kitts and Bahamas. These are the ones that they will dump on and have their feet, their knees on our necks. No matter how much we scream that we can't breathe, they will continue to do it. We're always the lavabos and the lowly regarded ones and so on, you know, that they want to come and dictate policy to you and to have extraterritorial application of their laws and a whole lot of things that they'll do. They don't do it to one another. Or if they do it, it doesn't last.
But you know, the sad thing is, boy, let me tell you something. I don't believe the Caribbean, the leaders, have made any effort to. I remember when there was supposed to have been the West Indian Federation in 1958.
58 to 62, yeah.
It was
1958 to 1962, yeah.
We were supposed to have had one currency. When everybody wanted one person, and then Jamaica said, "Well, we have more people than all of you," and one from
it was when Jamaica pulled out that Eric Williams of Trinidad said, "Well, if Jamaica has pulled out, this ain't making any sense anymore because 1 from 10 lives not." Jamaica gone. What's the sense? This thing is not sustainable. It can't go on. I mean,
and those things. I think we are paying a tremendous price here because. Don't forget, up to 1970, 71, 72, the Jamaican dollar was worth more than the American dollar.
Oh yes. I remember those days.
And there was no incentive to migrate.
Yes, when one Jamaican dollar
was like was
in
2
fact,
US.
In fact, $1 was 95 cents.
95 cents in Jamaica.
It was more.
Today it's about 180.
Yeah, and at that time, the Jamaicans, what they did. They had this image, this caricature, this cartoon that they drew of a big pig, big sow, and with 9 piglets, sucking its teats. And the thing was, help, Federation is sucking me dry. So basically, like the other countries were going to live off Jamaica and they were going to bleed Jamaica. But I believe in the recent CARICOM summits that we have seen, the one in Trinidad and others before that, I believe now leaders, maybe because it's more or less a new generation of leaders, they're beginning to understand the imperatives of closing ranks, of acting collectively, of having greater cohesion, because they realize the world don't have time for us. The world don't care about us and anything. You're weak, you're marginalized, you basically...
We have no bargaining power.
Exactly,
We have no bargaining power. What do we bring to the table? Any one of those islands single-handedly cannot talk to any of the first world countries. And I'm not referring specifically to America alone. I mean, when we go to the jaws of the European Union to tell them what? 240 square miles. What do you have? What do you have that I need? Can I trade with you on what scale?
What is your clout? You have basically no clout. So it's only now that we need to to have this kind of solidarity and cohesion among us and so on as a first step.
Yes.
And I think I begin to see
I think we should open the lines,
yeah,
eh?
to see
we'll
the
take 5 calls, eh?
Yeah.
4533-911. 4533-911. Yeah, you were saying.
No, I think I'm beginning to see the stirrings, and it's likely that now that Philip Brave Davis of the Bahamas has said what he has said, that he will find other people standing up for him in the Caribbean and saying, look, we stand 4 square behind our colleague, you know, and we believe that this is something that needs to be looked at.
Let's hope the European Union do impose sanctions.
Well, they probably will.
You know them already.
They probably
We have
will.
a call. Good night. Can I help you?
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, I do. I'm not hearing you too loud, huh?
I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Yeah. Yeah, man, what happened in there? The fellas making you, the jackal making you more popular. Because when they spewing lies and garbages and things, people realizing that, you know, they have nothing to say.
Yes.
Understand?
Yes.
Even, I'm not a carnival person, but I never against it. And if you have seen certain people are saying, wishing to happen,
Yeah.
like they want like rain to fall and
Yes.
waiting on the news to hear how many people are dying. And I tell them, but why you're wishing that? Y'all are so stupid. You'll never get a government in your time to give in what the Honorable Prime Minister is giving us in terms of the discount on plywood and galvanized and different things, the health thing they started off with the pregnant women. And everybody's benefit from it.
Exactly.
So why you all want to say that? Why you all not saying, okay, well, we're not supporting the government.
Because anything that will go.
We don't do your laptop. We don't nothing you're giving. But they benefit from it. And you know what has starting to happen now? The same people that was on the side of the flambeaux that was making noise, some of them ended up changing their minds because they're getting certain things they wasn't getting not even on the time of certain government that was there before. We're not even talking about Alan Schaffner alone. Others that was there, we even getting that. So right now there, all of you all that don't have nothing and you're getting against something, stick to it. Don't buy the hands that feed you all.
Yes.
Because the government of the day is trying their best, and they continue, and all of us have to be as one. That's not only for laborers, for all of us.
That's correct.
Ufedo, take care.
There you go.
Tonight, be safe, and we want to hear from you again.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And that is so true. I mean, why would anyone wish negativity on an event that can bring economic activity to the country? Because it is because of Shagwe pouvoir. It is because of your quest to occupy the power, the levers of power, the chairs of power. I mean, this is so absurd that it is unbelievable. You believe one could be so unpatriotic? We have a caller. Good night. Can I help you?
I am hoping that you can help me tonight. Good night.
Good night.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Richard?
I'm fine.
Is this the fake or the real pastor next to you?
No, that's the fake pastor.
The fake one?
The fake one.
Okay.
You see, he's there while I'm talking, he's reading his Bible.
Yeah. I'm telling him verses off and on.
Yes.
I guess tonight I'm feeding him on the Bible. You know, that is my job for tonight, so that is what you read in there.
Yeah.
Anyhow, Richard.
Yes.
You know, sometimes I wonder about the mental stability
Of some people.
of some people.
Yes, me too.
Are they okay?
Me too. Me too.
Now, earlier on today, I was saying and thinking, when somebody leaves the United Workers' Party and come across to the Labour Party, it's because they feel they have a contribution to make.
Exactly.
Country. But observe those who have left the Labour Party and gone over to the United Workers' Party. And these are eye people. They suffer from the eye drome.
Yes, yes.
And another thing that is mind-boggling, some of these people have masters. And before they got the masters, they have bachelors. And they're not so bright. You can't be so bright and following that person. Yeah. But I'm going to be needing a lawyer tonight. Probably tomorrow, Richard.
Okay.
So I'm putting you on standby.
Okay.
So, in terms of, I remember meeting a certain politician on Clark Street. Okay? And they gave me some MP. These politicians wanted at some point to become my MP. They gave me MP. Now, these people talking about crime. You know, these people, let me tell you, Richard.
But I know, listen, those same people that was giving you maybe that wanted to be your MP, there was a lot of crime within the household and they were not taking care of it.
No. Richard, have you ever used kerosene? Have you ever used kerosene on a human being?
No, I will never do that. It's inhumane.
Richard. Another serious question. Richard, have you been married twice?
No, I've never been married.
Married the niece of your first wife?
No.
No? Now...
You like too much Roro, Cornelia.
No. I mentioned nobody name, eh? Now, they had started a Roro with me. Now, a lawyer's letter is what I was greeted with.
Okay.
After they started their Roro, eh? But anyhow, Richard,
yes,
I wanted to get home safely and tell the pastor macaroni or tenderoni. Sending more food. Have a good night.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. You know, yes. You know, sometimes, you know, I've always said that when you believe you say, well, okay, I won't have a show, you know. Let me give it a break. They end up giving you so much content that you don't even know what to say. Tonight there were 2 other issues I wanted to deal with, but hopefully next week, Thursday, except, we have a caller, just hold on for me 1 second, except next week, Thursday is the day after Emancipation Day. Normally the day after Emancipation Day is a holiday.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if Shelton...
The day after Emancipation Day.
You're not listening to me. Listen to me. Caller, hold on. I'm saying next week, Wednesday, is our Emancipation
Okay, I
Day.
get you.
It's Wednesday. Next week, Thursday, is a holiday insofar as Can I Help You is concerned. So you'll have to hold the fort. I'm putting you on notice, folks. I'm giving Shelton notice now.
Okay.
Because next week, Wednesday, I will enjoy myself, I promise.
Yes.
And I'm not sure I'll be in a frame of mind unless those jackalacks give me enough content. Okay, caller, thanks for holding. Good night. Can I help you?
Good night, Richard. Good night, Shelton.
Hey, good night to you.
I thought the jazz festival was nice.
Yeah.
But this year's carnival was really good. Really good.
Yes, man. It was.
I must applaud those persons who organized this year's carnival. It was a very good carnival season.
Well put together.
You see that added feature of the Bomber Mall?
Oh!
That alone.
Hello.
That added feature of the Bomber Mall.
Let me tell you.
That just created a whole vibe around
Man, let me tell you. That Bam Bam Wall has millions of views already, you know.
No. That created a whole vibe around the carnival.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
This year's carnival was really sweet, really nice. You didn't have any incidents of violence. Only thing you heard was people enjoying themselves. I don't think we've ever had so many fetes in a carnival season, you know. Some days you have 8 fetes, you know.
Yes.
Showing a lot of economic activity in the
Indeed. And guess what? You know what? It's not only the economic activity, it's who the dollar reached. It reached the poorest people.
Everybody benefited from
That's correct, man.
The businesses, the suppliers,
everybody.
The man on the ground, you know, people coming out of that long lockdown, that stress and that depression got a chance to exhale. You know, We had a lot of foreigners on island for that carnival.
Yes, man, indeed.
We had a lot of foreigners on island. And
Yes.
so many of them joined the carnival band.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Many of them joined the carnival band.
I
A
feel
lot of St. Lucians returned home for the carnival. Right?
my house was, my personal
that
house
was a
was
beautiful
overloaded.
That was a beautiful season.
Yes, it was. Yeah, man.
I thought the jazz was nice, but no, the carnival was. And even one thing I was mentioning.
We lost the caller. We lost the caller?
We had more of our local music this year than other years.
Okay.
You know?
All right.
It was really good.
It was good. All right. Thanks, caller. Yeah, man. Yeah, folks, we can't deny it. You know, Albert, good night. Albert Fridges, I want to say a special good night to you. Albert reminded me of something. First and foremost, let's congratulate Julian Alfred.
Oh, yes, oh, yes.
You know, how can I forget Julian Alfred? How can I forget Julian Alfred? We were in where we were at one time, and Kenson got a call from her. I told Kenson to tell her I said hello. And she was quite elated when Kenson told her I said hello. I want to congratulate Julian Alfred. But you know what hurts? Is the hypocrisy of Alan Chastity. Julian Alfred, he always praises Julian Alfred. But he forgets it was Sean Edward who started by helping Julian Alfred with a little 150 US a month. He investigated it. Flabo called it the minister's account. And today you are all over Facebook trying to praise Julian Alfred as though you supported her in her initial stages.
Always,
hypocrites.
Yeah, always want to take credit for something.
You know,
whatever the Labour Party does, it's something that we started, we conceptualized. It was our idea. It was we who, you know.
And the Diamond, they said it was Labour that bought it. Those guys are something else. The same girl that Sean was attempting to, and Sean helped rather, the mechanism he put in place to assist her. Y'all call it the minister's account and thought it was a subject matter of some gross corrupt practice. You know, publicize it, humiliated Sean. And today, you want to be praising Julian Alfred. You think she doesn't know that? You think she's a deck? You think the membrane, the space where her brain is supposed to relax or rest is empty? There is no vacuum there. She knows what's going on. She understands what's going on. And she knows who wanted to help her and those who attempted to destroy her. So don't come now, Shastney, and sing her praises. She's not stupid as you think the others are. We have a caller. Thanks for holding. Can I help you? We lost the caller. All right, we'll take what? Our final call. Good night. Can I help you?
Yeah.
Yes?
I just wanted to confirm about if you know about the country and western competition by that on Wednesday.
Yeah, but you were not listening to the show.
Huh?
You were not listening.
Yeah, but what he said is he tell me you must bring your partner and $200 if you win. So
well, yes, I mentioned the country and western competition. I also mentioned a number of artists will be having there.
Right. I go for the artists and them here. But I go be there, man.
All right.
Take care.
Okay. All right. Okay. You know, I like that Poyot, the MP Braverman, who is responsible for the Dominica visa issue, is the same one who proposed the relocation of refugees to Rwanda. The UK court ruled that this policy is unlawful, and she is a known racist. Oh Lord. Yes, Cutty Ranks. Yes, you told me Julian Alfred achievement and coming first in the. We just did that, Cutty Ranks. We just did that. Bobby Maitland. Yes, Richie, I could imagine. Can't sit to watch your show. Send birthday greetings to Sergeant Melissa Joseph. She is a no-nonsense cop. Sergeant Melissa Joseph, good night to you. Good night, good night. Alert at Customs, good night, good night, good night, good night, good night. Somebody says, you know, all I ask anybody who wants to argue or debate on policy issues, I open myself. Oh yeah, Leo is Titus Leo. Titus Leo.
Oh, that's the
Robocop. Okay. You know, anybody who wants to deal with Pinky. Good night,
Where did I get
Anders.
this Gerald Leo from anyway?
Yeah, it's Titus Leo.
Titus Leo.
Yeah. So anybody who wants to have a discourse on policy, I'll avail myself. You want to discuss policy?
Yes.
Jackie and your mother, Miss Sidoni in the CDC, good night. I will avail myself. But don't come, you know. Somebody said, how much money did he pay to put all of us together in the ruined boat by the market?
Yeah. Let me just say, Richard.
29th at Fodor. Okay, yes. Popo is the one hosting that. Yeah, Popo, 29th of July. Fodor, Midnight Grovers. Yes, so Midnight Grovers. And there's Eric Donaldson on a given day there. Oh, it passed. Oh, my God.
Okay.
Okay. So, Midnight Grovers at Fodor on the 29th. Okay, Popo? I will see you then. Cyril Saltimus, another great night. Keep our people informed. I try my utmost, not with foolishness like who murdered name Colin and who murdered brother, sister with who and this and that child. And I don't have time for that. Let us discuss the issues affecting the country. And facts is how we come. You know, facts. Mr. Victor Girard, a special good night to you. Mr. Victor Girard says, all patriotic Lucians should be proud of Julian Alfred, including Alan. But it's about time he offers her a public apology for the withdrawal of her stipend. He did it when it was most needed, almost ending the career of a budding star athlete. It couldn't have been better put, Mr. Victor Girard. And I'll tell you this. I have utmost regard for Victor Girard.
Of course, yes.
Mr. Victor Girard, apart from being controller of customs, was a secretary to cabinet that transcended all political parties. Yeah. Nobody wanted to release Mr. Victor Girard because he was a consummate, a professional civil servant. Yeah. And for him to say this, you know, let me read this again, Mr. Girard. Let me read this again. All patriotic St. Lucians should be proud of Julian Alfred, including Alan. But it's about time he offers a public apology for the withdrawal of a stipend, and he did it when it was most needed, almost ending the career of a budding star. He should also apologize to Sean Edward, the former Minister of Sports, with a vision whose career he almost destroyed with a false allegation of a minister's account. The same way they had that false allegation of the land, and he called it a fiasco, the Bobola corrupting of the land in Banan. But you were saying something.
Yes, on Wednesday of next week, the 26th, the same date that you'll be having your emancipation by DAX, I won't be able to join you because the exact time, 7 p.m., is when the Babono constituency group of the St. Lucia Labour Party will be having their conference under the theme, The Progress Continues. That will be at Bogis, or Bogis, some people say, Babono, next to Anthony Alcindor's residence, 7 p.m., Wednesday, July 26, 2023. Of course, it will feature Honorable Dr. Virginia Albert Poyot, who is the MP for Babono, as well as the Minister for the Public Service, for Home Affairs and Gender Affairs. For Public Service, Mr. Victor Girard, as Cabinet Secretary, was the head of the Public Service. That is what the Cabinet Secretary usually is. And she's the Minister for the Public Service. She's the Minister for Home Affairs, which is the police, is included in that. And the guest speaker for next week, Wednesday, 7 p.m., at Bogis will be Mr. Shelton Daniel. I don't know if you know that guy.
I don't know him, but
he will be the guest speaker.
David Mulway told me he looks like a pastor.
Well, I'll tell you, he'll be preaching He'll be preaching at Bourgis next week, Wednesday,
Okay.
For the Babono constituency group of the St. Lucia Labour Party. So
Very
that is another occasion. And of course, we know both the activity you'll be having at DAX and over there, they'll be falling smack dab on the exact anniversary dates. You know, the how you call it, the 2 years, okay, of the Labour Party being returned to office in a very emphatic way. I see some people now trying to downplay the significance of.
They said that's a slim victory.
Yeah. You know, of 15-2 and so on. Well, we will see what the people think of it, and they have been showing what they think of it so far.
Indeed.
So, the long and short, I will be the guest speaker at the Babono constituency.
Virginia,
so we really would appreciate, you know, your attention to that. And we know that there are how you call that, people who can pay what you call that multitasking attention and so on. They're following the parliament all the time, yet when I have my show around the same time, the real issues, I mean, there's abundant there, and some people say they toggle between the two of them and so on. So I'm sure they'll be able to toggle between, you know, different activities and so on.
Yes. Okay, I want to say a special good night to Mary Andrea Alexis of New Development Soufre. You celebrated your birthday today. 20th, Kello, good night to you. Gina Charles, good night to you. Veronica, good night. Veronica say, I said them people not tired of talking about you troops. We all heard all of that already. Tell them we still love you. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Oh Lord, that woman self want to come to St. Lucia and come and look for fame. She's a loser. In a group, I get that, and the people kicks in on her. That is a life that was done earlier on. Zachary Hippolyte, good night to you, my brother. Licks like fire, licks like peas. That is how we know how to do it. You know, yes. We were having somebody says, David Monroe, you too troublesome, eh? He says there needs to be a remix of the song, I Want to Be on the Bubble List. I want to be on the bubble wall. I want to be on the bubble wall. John T, take notes. I want to... Owen Alcindor is asking whether we will be live on. Owen, you're too troublesome. If you want to see what's happening in St. Lucia, come down to St. Lucia. Let's take the last call. That phone has been ringing. Black boy, let's take one more. Oh, you stop. All right. Shelton, closing words?
Basically, there's no need for them. I think we've covered things quite well. Let's just hope that the run, even if of a few days that we've had without any major incidents of crime, that whatever it is that has brought down this little tamping down of it, although it seems like the moment you get a little quieting down of things, as in Vieux Fort, it exploded in other parts of St. Lucia. We got some very sad news about St. Vincent, and
But I send that to my colleague friend.
Yes,
a lawyer, and I don't think there is any truth to it, you know.
About the St. Lucia connection and so on?
No, the clip that was going around.
No, but they're showing Ralph Gonzalez in Morocco talking about it, the opposition leader in St. Vincent.
So what happened in St. Vincent?
Some gunmen opened fire on a group of people and killed 5 men in one incident. Oh. In fact, 5 males, one of them happens to be a 13-year-old schoolboy who was in the area. So if that is a hoax, I can tell it's a very elaborate hoax, because it was featured on the television news of Dr. Ralph Gonzalez, who happened to have just left St. Vincent for Morocco. And from Morocco, he gave a video, message and so on. The acting Prime Minister, Montgomery Daniel, has gone into extensive detail about it, according to news reports. The police commissioner has given a briefing about it. And the opposition leader, Dr. Godwin Friday, has spoken about it. That 5 people. And when I read the various reports, there was one of them which suggests that there may be a St. Lucia connection with it, that some traffic between St. Lucia and some revenge for some deal gone bad. So a lot of it is going on. So we have to feel for them, express our sympathy for them, and let us hope that here in St. Lucia that we can continue to have a run of quiet and peace as we move forward in this year. We've already had more than our quota, our fill, our share, whatever that may be. It's just too much for what is supposed to be a lovely and peaceful country, and we need to get it down again. Yes,
indeed. Divine Ituvin, I want to say good night to you. Stussy Leo said that this show was very informative and entertaining tonight. Big up Richard Frederick and Shelton. Jeanette Henry says it is true because it was on the St. Vincent News, and David Henry said he saw Ralph addressing the nation about it. Yes, Dudu darling Myro, it is sad, sad, sad news. So, Stacey Leo, good night to you. Roma Wilson, good night to you. Perpetua Howell, good night to you. Folks, as I've always said, if God has blessed you, no man now, wow, 5 people shot dead. Yes, I just got it. I wonder if I could show it now. Black Boy, you mind just showing our people? That's what we do. We bring the news to our people. It appears that it is not fake. I send it to you on my other number. Let's put it. Mass shooting, 5 people shot dead in St. Vincent. So there seems to be a certain degree of truthfulness to it. As to the cause, I have no idea. But I sent it to a lawyer friend of mine. And apparently he knew absolutely nothing about it. You know, I questioned him. I said, what's going on there? And he told me it was some young men having fun. I don't understand how 5 dead could be fun.
I mean, someone was videotaping towards the area where it happened. They didn't show the actual shooting, and they were commenting at the time. And I'm telling you, you should hear those bursts of clearly automatic gunfire, you know, that was going on there. So whoever shot those young men really wanted to make sure that they were dead. Yes. I mean, I could hear a lot of shots being discharged, you know.
Okay, yeah, David Mulry said there is also another voice telling the true story. No, yeah, send it to me, David. I wouldn't look at it now, but I will deal with it after DDK has sent me. Yeah, DDK, you sent me everything. I can't listen to it now. You know, all right, well, let's leave that for another time because you can't seem to be in a position to open this. So, closing words, Shelton.
I have already given them.
All right, folks, as I've always said, if God has blessed you, no one can curse you. Live clean because what you sow, you are bound to reap. Be careful of the pit that you dig. It may just be your own. I'm Richard Frederick. I bid you good night. Have a good week. Hopefully Shelton will, you know, he'll hold the fort. Yes. God willing, I may be in. Who knows? But I anticipate being sick next. You know, can you imagine? Boss, I can't come to him next week. I'll be sick.
I know some fellas who actually did that, you know, who said, let me tell you something, I'm putting you on notice, I'll be reporting sick next week, Tuesday, and so on. Especially in the days of the banana, the heyday of the banana industry. Fellas would have their regular jobs as teachers, whatever, but they have their banana farm. And when Tuesday, as you know, on the East Coast, is cutting days. Tuesday, Wednesday, normal cutting days. When fellas tell you, sir, my baby, but they should fix my money, I go pick my son. Esuka is about this is a 90-minute report.
Yes, folks, as I've always said again, if God has blessed you, no one can curse you. Live clean because what you sow, you are bound to reap. Be careful of what you say because you may be called upon to prove what you see. And if you cannot prove what you see, you may just have to pay. I'm Richard Frederick, I'm out of here. See you next Thursday, God willing. Bye. Lydia Faisal, bye.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
Advertising doesn't have to be complicated. MBC TV and Real FM combination is a proven way to advertise your products and services in St. Lucia and across the region.
That's great.
We provide television,